summer, I visited one of my all-time favourite places, Scotland. I spent some time on the west and southwest coast looking for birds and mammals and just enjoying being somewhere surrounded by the beautiful creation of forests, lochs, woodlands and mountains. I really hope you enjoy this video and my wildlife adventures. Staying in a house with a loch right in front and mountains rising behind felt like a real privilege. My stay was incredibly peaceful, stunning and unforgettable. From the raised decking area, I could watch and listen to numerous birds. And the wildlife was even at the house. Just around the corner in the porchway, thankfully unused, was a barn swallow's nest. I think the way swallows are designed to build their nests is fascinating. I observed this pair at the point they were lining the nest with feathers. Prior to this, they make a mud shelf or ledge which is large enough for them to sit on. They then build up the sides into a mud shell. They then add a lining of grass and finally, the stage I witnessed, feathers. According to a research paper I read, barn swallows will steal feathers from neighbouring nests when nesting in colonies. It was also interesting to see them sheltering from the rain under the eaves of the house. Another bird I was able to observe throughout the week was this song thrush. He liked to sit on a nearby post calling with what can only be described as an extensive repertoire of phrases. Apparently the song thrush has more than 100 phrases. I'd love to know why they choose their different sounds at different times. Song thrush have speckles on their breasts that are sometimes described as upside-down hearts. Their diet consists mainly of invertebrates, and they're known for hitting snails against a hard surface to get to the body. Seeing blue-tit fledglings really makes me smile, especially as I left Seven and their parents exploring my garden back home in Cornwall when I came on this trip. And I had to turn to a bird forum for help identifying this juvenile bird, but the general consensus was juvenile willow warbler. Willow warblers are easily confused with chiffchaffs. Adult willow warblers have a yellowish or olive-green breast with paler underparts, a brown head and a pale yellow-green stripe above the eye and flesh-coloured legs. Chiffchaffs have darker legs. The willow warbler is a small bird similar to a blue tit and weighs around 9 grams. Willow warblers migrate to Africa south of the Sahara between July and September, so this juvenile will likely be setting off for a big journey later this summer. I also saw this spotted flycatcher, lovely European robin, and had a quick glimpse of this brightly coloured siskin. From the decking, I also saw some hooded crows in the distance, closer to the loch. Hooded crows are easy to identify due to their mixed grey and black body plumage. Whilst in Scotland, I was reading an old bird book which said that hooded crows are the same as carrion crows, but whilst they used to be thought of as the same, they're now seen as separate. Hooded crows feed on dead animals, invertebrates and grain, as well as stealing eggs from other birds' nests. They are more sociable than carrion crows and they can be seen feeding in groups, which is indeed what I witnessed throughout the week. Interestingly, in Finland, they have been seen reeling in fishing lines that have been left in holes in the ice to obtain fish, which is very clever of them. Also from the deck, I was very excited to spot an otter fishing along the shoreline. It was a very windy day when I saw the otter, so I can't share all the footage I got as far too shaky, but still, it was wonderful to see. The weather was mixed throughout my time in Scotland, but rain, shine, misty mountains and gloom were all equally breathtaking in such a special location. I saw water like glass reflecting the surrounding scenery, watched sun, shadow and cloud pass across the mountain tops, and enjoyed moody weather and rain-dappled dark waters. Scotland is home to two native species of seal, the harbour or common seal, and the grey seal, which is the seal species most commonly seen in Cornwall, where I currently live. And I think it's fair to say that I also spent a lot of time sat quietly by the loch on various occasions throughout my stay. It's the morning and it's so peaceful here. I decided to come down to the loch and I've brought my hide with me so that I can shelter from the rain. I'm back at the loch. It's about 7:30 a.m. and I've come down to the loch and I was able to see a variety of bird life. Common sandpipers are known for their bobbing or teetering. I saw some sandpiper chicks on last year's visit to Scotland and I don't think anyone could deny they are incredibly adorable. This year I was able to observe more sandpipers foraging along the shoreline of the loch. They are smallish waders with contrasting brown upperparts and white underparts. I saw quite a few oyster catchers throughout my time in Scotland. They're noisy waders with a loud call and a loud appearance, black and white with bright orange, red and yellow bills and red eyes with a red eye ring. A bit later in this video, I'll show you some footage where you can hear the peep peep sound an oyster catcher makes, along with some footage of a youngster which I was pleased to observe. During my stay, I also visited the Falls of Laura, located just a few miles north of Oban. These are tidal rapids created when the tide in the Firth of Lorne falls below the water level in Loch. As the tide ebbs, water rushes out of the loch through the narrow entrance beneath the historic Connell Bridge, creating powerful currents and waves. So we've just stopped off at the Falls of Laura to see if there's any wildlife around here, and it is so busy. There are a couple of rescue boats out in the falls practicing rescuing people, and a lot of people around as well watching. The falls are quite strong at the moment. Last year when I came, They're a lot weaker than this, so it's really interesting to see. Oyster catchers eat worms, small crustaceans and cockles and mussels, and their beak is strong and flat, perfectly designed for breaking open hard outer shells. I was observing this oyster catcher when I had a lovely surprise, this youngster. He or she was following their parents around, and I noticed that the parents took it in turns to leave the chick to fetch food. Oyster catcher chicks are camouflaged, making it hard for predators to see them, and even with this fledgling you can see how well he can camouflage among the rocks. Whilst in Scotland, I also stayed not too far from the most southerly loch, Ryan's Loch. The rural house I stayed in was surrounded by wildlife. There were deer, brown hares, and a variety of birds in the surrounding fields. Unfortunately, as with the otter, it was too windy for me to get many usable shots of the hares. However, in calmer weather, I was able to get some shots of a male kestrel that I was pleased with. Finally, I wanted to share with you these gorgeous cygnets. I saw these on my travels around Scotland and had to film them for a while, and I thought that you might like to see them too. I hope you enjoyed joining me on my 2026 Scotland adventures. I'll link the last 2 years of my Scotland travels below also in case you're interested. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.